But the pussy clot now follow me from one. Yes, the blood clot borrow. To protect your soul.
I'll be booking them like Palace, puffing on my chalice. True say I'm an addict, 24 Cali, don't make me have to grab it.
Alright, Shalom, this is Officer Croft from the ISUPK. I'm speaking to Rapture.
Rastafari, speaking, yeah.
Okay, so this is brother. So you from my knowledge, you told me that you go to Ethiopia quite regular, but you're based in London. Am I correct?
But yeah, I've spent many years out in Ethiopia, yeah.
Okay, so with this whole Amoru, and the whole the singer that got killed, and now they're going against the brothers in Shashamani. Could you elaborate on that, or what you know of that? That's okay.
Well, it's a political thing, really, as far as I know. The opposition's against the ruling party that's there now, the Prime Minister, Dr. Abiy, have been trying to sabotage the country as such. Many people got killed in Shashamani in the last, 4 days ago, because of a superstar, as I said, an Ethiopian Oromo singer who got killed. And the country seemed to have erupted since that. They've knocked down Menelik's statue, and they wanted the singer to be buried there, where in a piazza. There's a lot of, mainly it's an international thing, Russ, with political things, Egypt is wanting to attack Ethiopia. They've brought their troops to the frontier because of the Nile, the dam that the Ethiopians are building. The Egyptians and the Sudanese are saying that they are the sons of the Nile. When the source of the Nile begins in Ethiopia, there's a lot of kind of disturbance there as such, but pinpoint who's been killed, like sisterins and brethrens as Rasta people in Shashamani, I don't actually know of that as say anything certain of anyone that I know. I've just been told about certain places that have been burnt down, and they've been confirmed to me because my family, my people are actually in Addis Ababa.
All right, sorry, bro, sorry to cut you. So you don't know anyone personally that's been harmed, from the Rasta movement, or brothers who migrated to Ethiopia and Jamaica and whatnot. But what have you heard about brothers that's been harmed and houses burnt down from Shashamani? Because we're hearing on this side that in Shashamani we're caught up in this beef, and brothers are losing their property, brothers are being harmed. Well, what have you heard then? You ain't know no one personally, but what have you heard in regards to that?
Within the last few days, I've heard that a big hotel, the Lily Valley, Sister Alma's place, has been burnt down. It's not actually been confirmed to me. I don't actually know. And a few other places, houses that were empty, have been burnt down.
Sorry, these places that you're talking about, are these brothers who migrated to Shashamani, or are these Ethiopian-born people, or these Jamaicans or Caribbeans that moved to Shashamani and them places?
These are Caribbean people who's migrated there, who's been there for 30 years and things like that. I mean, the hotel, the Lily Valley, the Sister Alma's hotel, that's been there for 25 years. But this thing isn't something that is pointed against Rasta people as such, It was because of this singer who got killed, and then, other people, oppositions, are paying money to people to cause disruption as such. But Ethiopia is a kind of place, it's a high technology place there. Even the people themselves are like cameras. Nothing goes unnoticed.
Sorry, I hear what you're saying, but the thing is with me is that we're Caribbean people. You know what I mean? The Bible said we're the tribe of Benjamin, but you know, for basic terms. And what I can see is we're getting roped in to a political war that got nothing to do with us. I just said that the Sisters Hotel that's been there for 30 years getting burned down. Like, why are we getting involved? That's what amazes me. You know, if you could elaborate on that, like why are we getting involved in this? Why is like the Tribunians versus the Amorals? Like why somehow is our community getting roped into this? If you could please elaborate on that.
Well, you see, like it's a kind of in Shakyamani around Malkoda where this hotel is. It's kind of like integrated community. There's Ethiopians there. There's people from the Caribbean and things like that. And you know, like a lot of people are waiting for a chance to sort of like attack another because of a lot of it is probably because a lot of people don't have. And my experience, what I've seen, the Rasta people who have gone there, and I wouldn't say like all of them, every one of them, but the majority of them haven't actually gone there to show a love or to help the Ethiopians. A lot of them are going there to sort of like pop style as such on the Ethiopian, you know, build a big house and you know, things like that. Not sort of like going there to help Ethiopians. Trust me, right? So a lot of them, when they see a chance come up where they can attack somebody who's probably not dealing with them or in the way that they think they should do or have too much and they haven't got anything, they would use that chance to steal, attack, or whoever the person is or whoever the peoples are.
Okay. I hear what you're saying, but it's at the ISUPK stances, you know what I mean? As black people from slavery, you know what I mean? We have our own problems, you know, a lot of problems, so forth. And it always happens that we always end up taking on other people's problems. It's the two beefs here between two Ethiopian ethnic groups. And, you know, we always get involved into it, man. It's a shame that, you know what I mean? That always happens to our people. If I could, I don't want to hold you too long. I know you're busy, man.
If I could, I want to ask the brother there. This is a brother from UK.
Callum Constantly, brothers in London. Can you hear me, Rapture?
Yeah, I'm hearing you now.
Okay, can you hear the captain? He wants to ask you a question?
Sure.
You hear me, brother?
Hello?
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Last third off, we can hear you too, sir. One second. Put the volume up.
Hello?
Can you hear us now?
Yeah. Okay. Are you able to hear me now, brother? You hearing me?
I'm hearing you. You're not that clear, but what are you saying?
Okay, yeah, I wanted to ask you, okay, so if you could explain just one more time what the issue is. So this particular singer who is well loved by one section of the Ethiopians or one facet or family or tribe, he was killed. How was he killed? That's what I want to know. Like, how was he killed? And why was his killing, you know, the catalyst or the flashpoint to start these riots where it killed, I'm reading it killed more than 80 people so far. I don't know if it's true or not. And then, you know, I want to know exactly, I'm trying to get a grasp of it because, okay, I'm trying to see if this is mirroring the police brutality that Blacks and Hispanics experience in European societies. Because the reaction, it seems like, from the Oromo people, or Oromo, I'm probably saying it wrong, the reaction from those people are similar to what has been happening with the so-called oppressed people of the West, the Negro, Hispanic, and Native Indian, with this pushing over of the statue. So I'm trying to get a grasp on, from what you know about these Oromo people, why did the death of this singer, who from the reports we don't really know, they say he was shot, but what happened, if you know?
Yeah, actually how he was killed, I'm not actually sure, right? But what I'm saying, I mean, the Oromo people are the biggest tribe in Ethiopia, and they're coming a long way as such, you know. They claim they are the Kushites. The star himself, they said he was bigger than Teddy Afro. And they wanted him to be buried where Menelik's statue was or is in Piazza in Arada. The reason, Russ, why it catalyzed it, it's more of a thing that this brother had a hand in politics as well, as I've been told. And certain people in opposition groups are actually funding area people to just make trouble, block the roads, because they wanted to have Dr. Abiy put the election off because of the COVID-19 thing, and the people wanted the election. Certain groups of them, like the Tigray people, was calling their own election. It's more of a kind of political struggle thing that's gone into the street as such in the communities, and people are sort of like acting on that. It's not something that's actually portrayed against like the Rasta people as such, but the Rasta people seem to be on the same street.
Okay, I get you. Okay, I get what you're saying, but okay, it's still I'm still not understanding. So this Oromo tribe is a particular tribe among the Ethiopians that they make up the biggest percentage. But why are they angry? Are they the poorest tribe? Are they the most oppressed? What is their beef with the other section of Ethiopians that they're taking? I'm assuming it's the Oromo people who retaliating and blocking the streets. What is their issue really? Do we even know what it is?
It's a kind of long time thing, and I wouldn't want to say it is actually this is the reason. But like in the time of Haile Selassie, the Oromo people were kind of held back from doing their own thing. In the school, they had to teach Amharic, and even in the time of the war, when Haile Selassie in the war with the Italians, the Oromos didn't get like their full recognition for the fighting and the things that they did there. There was a certain Oromo general who did a lot of great things, like he escaped from prison, he freed a lot of soldiers and all kind of things like that. And he wasn't sort of like recognized for what he did. And the Italians themselves gave him a gold watch. And you know, like the Oromo has been like second-class citizens as such for a long time as such. Mm-hmm. The Oromo people are like Kushites, which is the son of Ham. So historically, they're not the original Ethiopian. They're actually an Egyptian who came up the Nile. And when I say that, Russ, I mean some of them are Hamites. That's all I've been saying that way, Russ. And it stems from that. They weren't bought into the things. Menelik was meant to have treated them very badly and things like that.
I got you. Okay, I think I understand what you're saying. It seemed to be just, you know, of one powerful family versus another family who was not in power. That's what it seems like. Because Kush are the Ethiopians, Kush are Mogadishu, Kush are the Somalians of today, according to the Bible. Of course, Ham is the father of the Africans, of the dark races, but not the Negroes. Like, we are not Ham. We are the sons of Shem. They are the sons of Ham, and they have their little civil war going on. But what I would say is, no matter how bad Menelik, who is supposedly Selassie Tafari Makonen's father, I'm assuming that's who he is, and that's who Menelik is?
No, his father. He's like his father's cousin. He's
okay.
A cousin of Haile Selassie's father.
He's a cousin of Selassie's father, right? So they have their little beef going on, and this general fought for the, you know, and the Italians gave him a gold watch and blah, 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 blah. But this is, you know, this is what I'm seeing here with it, that in the middle of all of this, black people, and when I say black, I'm talking about the so-called Negro in America, the so-called African American, the West Indian, you know, the tribe of Benjamin, which is, you know, Jamaica, Trinidad, you know, Barbados, Grenada, the so-called Hispanics, the Mexicans, the Puerto Ricans, the Cubans, the Native Indians, the Seminole Indians, the Gadite tribes, the Sioux tribes, the Cherokee. Like, we served all these empires for 400 years. And we bled in their wars, and we got our backs whipped and picked their cotton and shined their shoes. We rebuilt their countries. And they didn't give us a gold watch. They didn't give us anything. And yet still we seem to love and revere them so much. And now I'm seriously fearing for my people over there in Shashimani and Addis Ababa and City of Ferraris, because one thing I do know, heathens might have, and when I say heathens, heathens are anybody outside of those 12 tribes of Israel. So the Africans would be heathens. The Ethiopians are heathens. They don't got nothing to do with the tribe of Judah or the 12 tribes of Israel. There's no bloodline connecting them to anyone in Israel, right? In the biblical Israel. One thing I know about heathens, whether they're Chinese, African, East Indians, they could fight each other and treat each other cruelly. And you could look at it and be like, oh, they're so cruel to each other. We could look at it like the Nigerians are so cruel to the Biafrans. Why are they cutting their feet off? Why are the Libyans fighting the Kenyans and this, that, the other? When we are in the room, they both will turn on us.
That's right.
They both will turn on us and treat us like trash, brother. And that's about to happen over there because, as you said, you said many of our people who went over there and accepted, quote unquote repatriation rights and coming back to lands and, benefits in Ethiopia. You said many of the, our people who went over there under the religion of Rastafarianism went there and did not assimilate. They did not fit in. But you described it as, okay, a lot of our people went to stunt on the Africans and show off on them. And I'm going to tell you it's not that. Historically, Ethiopia ain't the first place black people have moved to. And it turned out that they had to have a separate society. It happened with Liberia with Charles Taylor. It happened back there. It's in 70 AD destruction where the Jews had to run out of Israel after the Romans invaded and try to assimilate with the Africans. And the Africans would never, ever accept us, ever. And we always had to form our own society. The reason it appears to look like we've been stunting on them and showing off is that the Bible says, ye are the salt of the earth. Even in prison, we look fly. Even in our poorest state, we look better and do better than everything else and everyone else. So as we try to assimilate with those heathen nations and they don't accept us, we state ourselves and we always form our own cities, our own economies. It happened in America in the 20s, so-called after emancipation. After so-called emancipation, within 50 years, black people in America was able to set up cities like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Rosewood with their own banks and schools and businesses and make money while America was in a Great Depression. So, of course, you ask white people, black people show off too much. We always wear what? Big chains and drive the most expensive cars and this, that. We like to show off, but it's because we have to find a place for our own. And I guarantee you, that's what is going on there in Ethiopia. We had to find a place of our own. We would never fit in with these Africans because we're not African. Their style is different. Their flavors, their taste is different. We just showed a video with that same, what's his name? Hakalu? What's his name? Hakalu, what's his name?
What's the
singer's name? Karathi, I'm asking you, what's his name?
Hakaru. What's the second name is?
Hakaru something, right? We just played a video of him, and he is trying to dress like a Negro in the West with the little bucket hat. That's not Ethiopian wear. He's trying with the little West coat with the tight shirt underneath and the chain. That's not Ethiopian wear. Like, why is he not wearing the Ethiopian culture? It's because they try to do what we do, but they can't do it like us. And because they can't mix with us, because we are the superior people on the earth, according to the Bible, we have to form our own societies. We have to form our own cultures and schools. It might appear like we're stunting on them. It's not that we're stunting. Water and oil don't mix. And when we are separate from other societies, we build fantastic things, even in our oppression. Even in our oppression, we're the best people on the earth in everything, in clothing, in education, in school, in everything. We just the best. So my fear right now for these brothers and sisters over there is that once whichever side is losing in this Oromo and Ethiopian war, that losing side is going to turn on the slaves of the empire, which are the black people who live there.
That's right.
Yeah. What I'm saying, Ras, you see, like the life and the education and the things that we've been exposed to, it's not a balance with what's happening over there. Over there is a completely different power. You see, all the things that we're talking about over here doesn't fit in there. It doesn't balance with there's a different language there. There's different powers there. There's different authorities there, Ras. What we're coming with, even though we're calling Africa's name, we're coming with a Western authority and a Western power, Ras. It's completely a different thing. A man wouldn't understand the tribal thing, but like the tribal thing is not a man-made law thing that is running the world. It's a earth thing. It's original earth thing that is running the earth, not the political world. Because our views are coming from a political side of it. Our life and liberty is coming from a political side of it. The people in Ethiopia, the majority of their lives is not coming from a political hand down. Yours, it's a completely different thing, right? You can't go and try and fit in the things that you are talking about in Africa, and I'm talking about in Ethiopia. You can't fit these kind of things. The kind of cutout how you think it should be and what you'd like it to be. You can't go and fit it in there. It's a completely different place, Rob. Trust me.
I don't think you're hearing me well. I'm not saying that we should fit in Ethiopia. I'm absolutely saying we're different, and we will never fit in with any heathen on the face of the earth, whether they're Ethiopian, African, Aborigine, Chinese. Black people are not going to fit in there, and it's not about being Western. It's absolutely not about being Western, because even amongst themselves, they don't fit in with each other. So it has nothing to do with being Western. What I'm saying is, we, the descendants of the slaves, the descendants of the people that cut cane and picked cotton and had to walk the trail of tears in the Americas under the European nations, mainly the American and the British and the Spaniards, we are, according to the Bible, we are God's chosen people. We the 12 tribes of Israel. And we have no business with these heathens. And we should have never gone to their land and set anything up.
With the line of Judah.
Say that one more time.
The line of Judah is 12 tribes. Haile Selassie was the line of Judah.
Okay, how do we get okay? I've heard that before, and because you're on the show, I want to ask you, okay, how do we get that Haile Selassie is the Lion of Judah?
How does he get to be the Lion of Judah?
Yeah, how do you get that? Where's the, there must be some proof or biblical reference, and how is it that Haile Selassie is the Lion of Judah? And okay, let's start with this. What does the term the Lion of Judah mean?
Is that a question, or are you going to tell me?
No, I'm asking you. What does the term the Lion of Judah mean?
It means Haile Selassie. It means Janai. That's what it means. The Lion of Judah means the Emperor of Ethiopia.
No, that's not what it means. That's definitely.
No, I know it. You know what I mean? If you're gonna tell me something, don't ask me a question. Tell me, man.
No, I'm asking you to hear what you define it as, and I don't want you to get offended, brother. I don't want you to get offended because we're gonna get an understanding of each other here. We're gonna get an understanding of what you know and what you understand and what you perceive things to be. You're going to get an understanding of what I know and what I understand, what we perceive things to be. I really hope you don't get offended by it. So I asked you about the Lion of Judah, and you said you use that as a reference to Haile Selassie, and that's it. And I'm disagreeing with it, and I'm going to tell you why I disagree with it. And once again, this is not to offend you. The intention here is not to offend you. The intention is to get to the truth of it, so that our people could leave these filthy, disgusting heathens alone and let them fight each other and kill each other and never, ever come near us. That's the whole end all and be all of it. You understand me?
Oh, that is not black love, Fire. That's not black love.
That's actually is black love. And
to leave the Ethiopians alone? To
leave them to hell alone.
Ethiopians are royal people.
Well, let's get to the
in the 15th and 16th and 17th century, when the people from the Caribbean were slaves, there were emperors and empresses in Ethiopia in the same time, the 15th, 16th century. When the people came out of slavery and didn't know themselves, there were all these dignities and races and dukes and high people in Ethiopia, Fire.
Okay. I have
from the West.
If I could interject right there, brother. If I could interject right there. Would you say that right now we are in slavery in UK, in the Caribbean, in the Americas, that black people are under slavery?
I'm saying
I'm asking you a question. Would you say that right now black people right now in 2020 are under slavery in the Americas, in the UK, in the Caribbean? Would you say we are under slavery still?
I would say they're in captivity. How you define it will be down to you, how you want to break it up.
I agree with you. We're still in captivity. And right now in our captivity, there's a royal family sitting in Westminster. There's a royal family right now sitting in Westminster while we're in captivity. Like, us being in captivity and having a royal family, that still don't have nothing to do with us. You making the analogy that in the 17th century and the 18th century, while we were picking cotton, there was emperors on the throne of Ethiopia and dukes. And I'm saying, well, fine. If they were royal at that time, good, that's good for them. But right now we're in captivity still, and there's a queen sitting in Westminster or down there somewhere in London, and that has nothing to do with us. And just like the queen, is not doing anything right now to end our slavery. In the 1700s, Selassie, Tafari Makonnen, Menelik, and whoever else did nothing to end the slavery that was going on in the transatlantic slave trade. They both did nothing. So why
tell me something? Yeah, tell me something, Fire. You've asked me a few questions. I just want to ask you one. What is your grandfather's name?
I don't know.
No, what is your name? Have you got your grandfather's name?
No, I have a. I have a Hebrew name, and I have a slave name that was given to me at birth from my parents that they got through generations from their slave master.
Yeah, Russ. Concerning Ethiopia and all the things that we talked about, Russ, are you actually gonna go to Ethiopia yourself?
Okay. I'm gonna answer your question, and then I want to get back to Selassie being the Lion of Judah. Me personally, I have no desire to go to Ethiopia now, ever. I pray honestly the Lord brings death and destruction to Ethiopia and leaves a remnant to be the slaves to help rebuild the kingdom of heaven so the 12 tribes of Israel can rule this earth like we should. We should be the rulers of this earth and nobody else. So in that day, I might go down there to see what the slaves doing on the plantation. But for right now, I couldn't give a damn about Ethiopia. I'm concerned of what's going on in Trenchtown and Kingston and Georgetown, Guyana, and Trinidad right now, where black people are being murdered by the police of Trinidad, and nobody don't give a damn. No poor black people. I'm not talking about singers like Hanakulu or whatever his name is in Ethiopia. I'm talking about poor people. This week, Wednesday, the police shot a pregnant woman through her belly, killed the baby. Killed the baby. I'm concerned with the plight of the poor of my people, not the rich of Ethiopia. You understand?
The tongue. Have you got your own language? Have you got another language?
Yes, it's called Lashawan Kodash. That's the Hebrew word for the holy tongue. That's our language. Our language is the Hebrew, the ancient Hebrew.
And where is your country? Huh?
Say that one more time.
Where is your country?
Our country is bordered by the rivers outlined in Genesis: the Euphrates, the Tigris, the Nile, and the Gihon, I think, or the Pison.
Yeah, where is it today, man? I'm not talking about where it's written on. Where is it today?
I just told you. I just told you. Those rivers are in there today. They're in there today. That's our land according to the Bible. You're asking me that question because the Ethiopians have their land and you're trying to make the comparison.
Right.
And I'm telling you, no, just before we go all the way to the left on this, I want to go back to Selassie being the Lion of Judah, right? You said he is the Lion of Judah, and I'm begging to differ, right? And let's start with it. Judah.
Hear me out. I'm not going to go into that with you, trust me.
You're going to have to. You're going to have to go into it.
If you had a different language and you had a different name, I'd probably consider one or two of the things that you might have said.
I have a different language and a different name. The problem is you don't want to respect me as a fellow black man, a descendant of the slaves, just like you. You rather respect the Ethiopians because you think they are
I've never been a slave.
I've
never been a slave. My father's not a slave. My grandfather's not a slave. We don't have them names that you have. That you might.
Let me ask you. Maybe that's
slave name. But that's who you are.
Maybe that's where we get in the divide. Let me ask you something, right? Who your four parents, are they from the Caribbean?
Wow. Let's not go there, man.
I just asked you a question.
You don't have a country. You don't have a throne. You don't have anything.
Yeah, because we're not like the filthy Ethiopians who never went into slavery. We're not like them. Of course, because of Rastafarianism, you look at your people like they're less because we don't have a country, because we don't have our language. When the Bible says, give me in the Bible, brother, give me Jeremiah 17:4, I will discontinue you from your heritage and your language.
To imitate is to appreciate. And you're imitating the man that you're trying to chant down.
No, I'm not. I am the real deal. You imitating the man that you trying, which is an Ethiopian. And in a short second, you are going to find out just how much the Ethiopians do not appreciate you. You're going to find that out in a short second. That the Ethiopians hate black people. No, I've seen it. I've seen it. Ethiopians hate black people. They're in America right now, thinking they're better than black people.
That's right.
Others like you. And one time, like myself, we look at Ethiopians.
Let's not go too far. I don't want to go too much into it.
Listen,
so
you absolutely hate your people. For you to say you don't have a land or a language, I will listen to one or two things you have to say.
I'll leave you in your confusion.
You can be bored with a land. The white man has a land. The white man right now in Europe, Boris Johnson, has his own language, English from England, and land, England. Would you listen to him?
Like I said, the brother hung up, sir.
Of course he's gonna hung up, but Selassie I have 90 eyes and can't see a goddamn thing.
That's right.
That's why Selassie is weak and Rastafarianism makes brothers weak.
That's right.
Because you don't have a country or a language, I won't listen to you. Boris Johnson is an Englishman speaking English from England. Are you listening to him? Would you listen to him? The East Indians have their own land with their own language. Are you listening to them? You mean to tell me you're going to sell your whole people out for language and land? No. No, that ain't going to happen. First, and he could not defend Selassie being the Lion of Judah. Karathia, find me a Rastafarian who is not a coward, who could come up in here and prove to me why we should follow Selassie. Find one for me and make sure he's an Israelite. This one here from London, I'm assuming he's a heathen. I'm assuming he's a heathen that just grew up somewhere on the block with brothers and adopt the mannerisms of brothers, but he is not a brother.
That's right. You
can't tell me in this day and age you have a love for the heathens more than your people. When have the Ethiopians ever fought for you?
That's
when have the Ethiopians ever delivered you for anything? Ever.
Gangster in the morning, gangster in the evening, gangster in the morning, gangster in the evening, gangster in the morning, gangster in the evening, gangster all the time.
Yeah, I'm back and I'm attacking. Nah, I ain't capping. Real life rapping, switched it up and got it cracking. Get you vanished from a napping. Bare nerves racking.